Okay, as Dr. Mensah makes his way to the hot seat, I'll call upon the next panelist. There's Sarah Noko Anku, who is the director and founding president of Intellectual Property Network in Ghana. I'm not sure if Sarah is online. Please, technical team, please confirm for us. Sarah, if you're online, kindly rename yourself as a panelist and with your full names. And then our next panelist is Dr. Thomas Mensah, the CEO of Georgia Aerospace in Silicon Valley. Oh, there's two. Okay. Oh, this. Okay. And then our next panelist is Professor Brahim Eviri, the professor of telecommunications at Morocco School of Engineering Sciences. Prof, if you're online, kindly rename yourself with your name and as a panelist.
Hello, technical team. Do we have any of our speakers online? Yes? Okay. A speaker, would you please indicate by lifting up your hand, raising your hand? And if the technical team can let us see that screen, that would be wonderful.
Hello. Hello.
Awesome. Please, can you tell us who you are, sir? Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me? I'm being muted.
Yes. Can you give us your name, sir? Can you unmute yourself, sir? Technical team, allow him the ability to unmute himself. Unmute. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming. We truly appreciate you. At this moment, before we let our speakers speak, we like to get the audience in. And if we can have one of our folks helping, one of the officials, please grab the microphone to whoever puts his hand up. We do want you to ask a quick question. What would you want to hear about the legal, the policies as it concerns intellectual property, as it concerns innovation, as it concerns manufacturing, as it concerns inventions, any of the legal aspects of it. Our dear Liz is here. She's an attorney and has an idea about some of these legal issues. But please, if there is anything, just listening to this topic and framing it in light of how do we awaken our sleeping giants. All right, if there is something there that, oh, this topic reminds me of this and I would like to hear about this. This is really going to help our speakers as they speak, because no matter their presentation or what they have prepared, we want to make sure we stay on the topic for today, and that whatever we are saying, we want to get results, we want to get solutions that can be implementable. So, thank you, Dr. Jean. Is there anybody? Yes, sir. There's a hand here. If you can get the mic to him, we would appreciate that.
I learned my microphone was off, so I'll start all over again. The name is Nana Jenim Boateng, Chairman, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Accra branch. I said since yesterday, I have been listening, and I've listened and listened well. And looking at the theme, awakening the African sleeping giant in the implementation of AfCFTA. And the key word in there that strikes me, and that has been the major challenge after all our talk shows, is implementation. And not just implementation, our term is as the implementation gap. Our ability to identify the implementation gaps and work on it is what will turn this continent around. I'm saying so because I've had 20 years experience working within the sub-region, Ghana, Gambia, Senegal, as an entrepreneur, Mauritania, and I know the terrain very well. What our leaders need to know is good laws, good regulations, policies does not necessarily convert into good governance or give us the results that we want. But it's our ability, and this is something that goes both for leaders. I know our presidents in Africa are listening to us, and other entrepreneurs and employees are also listening to us. What we need to know is our ability to identify incentives for and against policies to turn Africa around. And when leadership is able to identify those incentives and implement those incentives very well, that is when we'll get a turnaround.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That's a great question. And I know as speakers have heard you, and I know no matter what they're going to talk about, they're going to look for that implementation gap. That's what APSS is all about. We've been doing a whole lot of talking the continent-wide. APSS comes in a different perspective to make sure all that we have talked about and all that we're going to be talking about and hearing is going to be implemented. And after this, you're going to have a little bit of exercise where you get involved in identifying those policies that we can present that will be helpful to make this a reality. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. Anybody else before we get our panelists on? Anybody else? Is there something you want to hear? Yes, there is a hand way back there. And if you can keep it under 1 minute, it will be appreciated.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Kwabnachi Messi from Ghana. We are talking about policy, framework. We are talking about schemes, regulations. I've had the opportunity to be part of formation of some regulations, and I've realized that the people at the bottom of the pyramid who are normally affected by these regulations are left out when it comes to these formulations. So the issue here is how to get them involved, because they are the ones being affected by the regulations. Recently, we're working on the wood floor regulation, and the people producing this charcoal are the people in the villages, but they didn't really have a say in what was going on there. And they are the ones that are going to be affected. So how then can we get them on board?
Very good question. I think we can pause at that moment. AfCFTA has got to be good for everyone. Tom, Dick, and Harry, top, down, bottom setting, everyone in Africa. It's got to be engaging, it's got to be involving, and probably many of the folks in the street don't get to be here. Are you going to speak with them and for them? Our technical team, our media team, are they also doing some interviewing to find out from folks on the street, from folks owning businesses and all that, how AfCFTA can be implemented in a way that benefits them. So thank you very much. Our panelists have heard you. And in their presentation, they're going to bring this in and let us know how do we awake our sleeping giants and how do we implement AfCFTA in a way that is mutually beneficial. At this moment, I'm going to step aside and I'm going to have my our moderator, she will begin to call on the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. King, for setting the pace for a very vibrant and fruitful discussion that we're going to have in the next 1 hour session. Okay, the first question will address what our brother raised about implementation. And we are looking at Africa being blessed with a very dynamic, vibrant, talented, youthful population. And these young people have the ability and the capacity to develop very innovative solutions to solve some of the challenges that we are experiencing today, maybe in the transport industry, the healthcare sector, the manufacturing sector. We have the talent. But we want to know, how do we attract and retain talent to remain in Africa? Because we find many African youth who are very talented, but they use these ideas not to develop Africa. So we want to hear from our panelists here today. All of them are from institutions that work with young people and that work with entrepreneurs. What are you already doing to attract and retain the best minds in Africa? What are you already doing to support African innovators and entrepreneurs? So we would like to first hear from we would like to first hear from Sarah, the director and founding president of IP Network in Ghana. Sarah is joining us online.
She told me she might not be. Okay.
Technical team, could you please unmute him for us? Or have him unmute himself so we can hear him? Yeah.
Okay. Our panelist who is already online, kindly unmute yourself and please tell us what you're doing as an institution to support innovation and to work and journey with these African entrepreneurs, because we know that we have a lot of talent, but how do we transform and this talent into revenue as Africa?
Yes, please. Okay. I'm being muted by the AAU TV. So in case I've already unmuted myself, but I cannot unmute myself on the AAU TV end. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity here. My name is Dr. Alexander Enim-Mensah, and I'm privileged to be part of this event and history making. The question you posed is a very good question. One thing I've come to realize across Africa is actually we talk about innovation, we talk about talent, we talk about industrialization, we talk about so many things, but without securing the IP in place, we might not really earn on our investment. And even before you file for an IP is a business tool, and at least you should understand why I filed this IP. Does that have any ROI? And in the first place, we have the REC, which have their jurisdictions. And also, if you look at the IP structure of Africa, they also have their jurisdiction. Most people are not realizing, are not able to realize on their IP or their innovation or their idea, because the IP system is not in place, in my view. Another one I can point out here is, if you look at ARIPO and AOPI and the national systems, you will realize that the ARIPO and the AOPI being the major ones, ARIPO being for French-speaking countries mostly, ARIPO being for English-speaking countries mostly, and AOPI or OAPI mostly for the French-speaking country, you will realize that they have some differences, which if you want to cover your idea, the whole of Africa, is going to take you a lot of money. And also we have national systems, which is practiced in Nigeria, South Africa, and I think Sudan. The reason why we are not realizing some of these is because people are not able to really realize the benefit from their IP, in the sense that infringement is a commonplace in Africa. When you come out with an idea from an IP standpoint, it's a business tool supposed to give the owner of the IP a temporary what? A temporary monopoly for a number of years. A temporary monopoly means that that person can only be the person able to manufacture, able to produce, able to sell, able to import. But when you look at the current scenario in Africa, it doesn't actually promote that very well, because for you to pursue someone who is infringing you means that you have to find the person and take the person to court where the person is. Until, in my view, that we're able to pursue infringers of innovative properties, people with talent might not realize some of the gains, hence it might not drive innovation. Because if you come out with an idea that you are not going to be the only person who is going to have the temporary monopoly for that short time, then it might not drive you to be able to do more. And what I'm talking about mostly applies when it comes to patent. And when it comes to patent, there are 4 different kinds of patent. You have the utility patent, which is use, something which can be used, the word utility, something which of use. Like if I come out with an engine, and if I'm supposed to file the patent, and I'm supposed to file in ARIPO, which is going to cost me 37,000, going to file in AOPI, which is going to cost me about 35,000 to get a patent. And then if I'm supposed to file in case I'm in the national system, that's also going to cost me money. Then that itself is a barrier for people to be able to file. I did a comparison of the cost to own a patent globally. South Africa is about 5,200 to own a patent for the life of the patent. ARIPO, which about 18 countries in Africa, English speaking, are involved, it takes about 37,000, as I mentioned. And if I talk about AOPI, which is for French-speaking countries, which is about 17 countries, that's about 35,000. And if you come out with an idea or an invention, which you don't have the money, and even the people to file for you, it's a problem. And to point out here, there are different types of patents. There's a strong patent and there's a weak patent. Even to find the person to drive the patent for you, to be able to come out with a strong patent, you need a patent strategist. So the knowledge, the information, the people, the structure, the support, the ecosystem, I would say the existence is limited. So in my view, it's not driving the innovation and the implementation that we want. If you know that if I file this idea, I'm going to get money, and I'm going to be the only person exclusively to produce it, then I'll be happy that I will put in all my all to create a conducive environment, whilst the policy also support it, and then the current existing structures support that. So it's a good thing we've gotten together today. In my view, I'm thinking AAU should do very well to harmonize the existing IP systems to be able to help Africans and then Africa to get over the hump. I also mentioned about, when we talk about intellectual property, I just wanted to sound this to us that it contains copyright, trade secret, trademark, service mark, sometimes trade dress, and then we have the patent. And the patent, there are 4 types. I know that the knowledge in Africa, when it comes to this IP space, is limited. And our first step is education. And once people really understand it, they can take it upon themselves to run with it. At I2I Mega Hub, in 2019, we did a quick look at the innovation and technology hubs across Africa and realized that when you match all the innovation technology hub on an innovation value chain, there were gaps, meaning that if I'm from A, I'm supposed to go to B, but there's no B, there's a C. If I'm supposed to go to F, like it's not in sequence, there are missing gaps. And if you know 5 forces analysis, and if you know value chain analysis and value chain management, you understand what I'm talking about. So until we fix the IP, which cut across trade, which cut across everything, I'm thinking that it might not drive innovation very well. Until those innovations are protected, it will not drive manufacturing. Because even if when you come to manufacturing, the manufacturing processes, all of us are producing cocoa. But there could be 10 ways of producing cocoa. And those 10 ways of producing cocoa comes with different processes which can be protected by what? Innovation. And as to sustain those manufacturing processes, the value add in there, the value add here doesn't always mean that pick raw product and convert it to finished goods. Value add means that you can pick any product, an existing product or a new product, and once you're able to do something to it, to a final stage, and customers are willing to pay for the difference and more, that is value addition. Value addition is a cost reduction processes. And that's where you see value engineering and value analysis. Those things, I've looked at it. If those things don't pay back at the end of the day, if you don't realize on your on your innovation, if you don't have any ROI, anything that you input, you don't have output in multiples, it will not drive innovation. Hence, it will not drive implementation. At I2I, what we've done is we've decided to take ideas, screen for the viable ideas, and drive them to commercialization using our in-house structured stage-gate innovative process and management. And it's not out there, it's still being developed, and we are trying to turn it into an app such a way that all Africans can have the chance to use. It has economics built in it. If you design stuff and you over-design stuff, it's always going to shoot you in the leg such a way that you might not have your ROI in place. I think someone has signaled me. I need to kind of wrap up. And as the questions becomes available, I'll go ahead to talk about more of the things that we are trying to do. But for your information, we are building a big facility, 5 of them across Africa, North, South, East, and West, and Central, known as the African Innovation Mall, which is going to have, it's going to be one of the largest in the world, which we are planning to build the first one in West Africa, Ghana, which is going to get most of the people in the diaspora, which have been here for
Dr.
20
Mensah,
years in the US.
Unfortunately, you have to wrap up now. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for, that very, very enlightening conversation, Dr. Mensah. You brought very pertinent issues that, yes, we want to register our intellectual property, but it's too expensive for the average entrepreneur, right? It's so time-consuming. We don't know the processes, so we have a problem. And when you talked about even some of our African cultural expressions, like the dresses that we have, the very nice fabric that we are wearing today, how do we prevent it from being taken over without us getting value from the trademarks or from any traditional knowledge that we have? For instance, Africa, we have a lot of traditional medicines. So how do we ensure that these medicines are not taken up by multinational companies without our consent? In my country, for instance, we have a Swahili phrase that we like very much, the phrase Hakuna Matata. But guess what? The phrase is actually a trademark of Disney. And my people from the Swahili community did not get any value from any trade activities that came out of the phrase. So how do we ensure that our culture is not inappropriated, because we can actually take advantage of what we have, our culture, our language, our heritage, to generate trade value from it. But this happens because we do not have, or rather, we have inadequate policy and legal framework. So I'm going to call upon our next speaker to also tell us what you think, what you think, how can we improve this policy and legal framework that we already have to ensure that we benefit from our innovation, intellectual property, as well as our culture.
Yeah, can you all hear me? This is a very, very important topic. And as one of the foremost inventors, global inventors, I think I can speak to this. First of all, I want you all here to make sure that if we have avenues for getting a patent. And I'll show you how to do it. I have 7 patents in 6 years. That's 1 patent a year. For the fiber optics and the laser guided bombs and all that stuff. So I know what I'm talking about. I've also written 7 books. Every book you have intellectual property, you have copyright, and all that. And my latest book, which the king of Ashanti did a forward to Otufor Seitutu, is called The Right Stuff Comes in Black Too. Put it on. Yeah. And as you see, this is very, very important. And I want you all to repeat after me. The right stuff. The right stuff. The right stuff. The right stuff comes in black too. I am black. I am the right stuff. I can do anything that any white person can do. I am black. I am from Africa. I can do anything that any white person can do. The right stuff comes in black too. And I am black, and I can do anything that any white person can do. So help me God. Never forget that. Never forget that. I did this because that is the title of my book. The right stuff comes in black too. But instead of putting it on the shelf, I have it there. As you see, your key moderator putting it up there, saying the right stuff. Say the right stuff. The right stuff comes in black too. I had to do that because everything we see, people think only the white person did it. Everything we see an airplane, oh, the white person do it. See an MRI machine in the hospital, you see a computer, they think it's only a white person can do it. But you are looking at a person who created a technology for you to send pictures on your cell phone worldwide. You are looking at him. And he's not white. He's black just like you. He happens to be from Ghana. But I'm not limited by what I've been told in my schools, growing up and all of that. I'm limited by what I think I can do. So I want you all to think yourself that you can do anything that any person, whether Chinese, Indian, white, whatever they've done, you can do it. Because in 1985, when they were having problems in moving the technology of laser fiber optics from the laboratory scale to industry, they called MIT, and MIT sent me to Corning Glass Works. Some problem they've been trying to solve for 15 years. It took me 1 year to solve it, to move it from the lab to industry. That's why I wrote the book, because I know that what one person can do, I can do it too. And as I'll show you, I'll show you a couple of things. Where to go to file your patent, where to go to apply for intellectual property rights. I'll show you all that. You just Google, go there, you sign it under your name, and if you're patenting even something that's in print, you put it all there. You don't have to finish it at one sitting. You can come back later. Continue. It may take you a month or two. You pay what, $300? You know, not like 15,000 and all that stuff. That means if you don't know how to do it, that's how much it costs you. You pay that, and you have USPTO, United States Patent Office. You have the number under your name. As you saw, they'll play a video here. You see I have about 25 patents, both pending. When they say pending, that means USPTO has it, already granted. So give yourself a clap. You are the right stuff. And this is important. I'll stop here, but remember, you are the right stuff. That's very, very important. You got to believe in yourself to be able to do it. Never think that you cannot do it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Thomas. I mean, we can do what the Chinese can do, right?
Yes.
So we don't need to have all our products labeled
Yes.
made in China. We can make the same products. Thank you very much once again for reminding us of that very important message. Okay, so I'm going to go to our next speaker who is online. That is Professor Brahim, the Moroccan School of Engineering Sciences. Professor, you in the academia line, and we would like to understand what is the role of academia as we look at research that is oriented towards enabling a policy framework, and especially within the realm of the ACFTA. So what role does academia and research institutions play in all of this? Because, for instance, we're looking at ACFTA bringing a free trade area, yet we know that our trademarks are jurisdictional. They cannot be recognized in another country. So what role does research have to do in improving this situation? Welcome, Prof.
Okay, hello everybody. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. At first, I will thanks all guys, all persons that who prepare this great event. Yes, Africa is a giant, and we should recap all these persons, all these resources to develop our countries. So many thanks for your question, which is very interesting. But first, I will go to Professor Thomas Mansa. Only one remarks. We are not black, but we are Africans. We can do it together. We can make a lot of things together, not only because we are black or not, but at first because we are Africans. So in relation with your question, and I will explain quickly what I do with my colleagues, my teams in Morocco. Certainly in Africa, in general in Africa, we have a lot of persons with excellence profile in research, innovations, and I made a lot of persons in a lot of competition of innovation over all the world, in Switzerland, in Turkey, in Russia. And I see how the importance of what can we do together. There are no difference between African peoples and the other Occidental ones. So we can do a lot of things. Academia, what I do with my teams. So at first, and with very interesting things, we should understand what is the difference between us and the others, and how can we develop our ideas. How can we implement these ideas? So innovation is not given for everyone. So for persons who did research, it's very easy to transform her ideas from laboratories to a very special things, and it's very interesting in our countries. There are no relations between industry and laboratories. Each one works in a very specific place. There are this exchange of expertise, and they cannot communicate this knowledge. So at first, we should make this relation between industrial sectors and universities and also laboratories. What I did and what I do actually with my students, we try to organize a lot of things, a lot of competition of innovation in my laboratories with students, with professors, and we invite industrial outside of my university to come see what can we do together. And this day I work personally with my laboratories with the Chinese society on how can we implement really smart meters of waters and the electricity, and how can we implement the solution really in the real world, not only a patent or the IP, and we can write a document and let it in the office of patents. So we should transform our ideas in a real things, not only theory words, but we must implement that really in the reality. The first things. The second things, discussion with students. And what we do this day, it's like a brainstorming. We should say to our students, you are the best, and we can do a lot of things together. We should only give them a confidence, give them the possibility to innovate and to see the world in another way. That's what we should do with our young students in our laboratories and our schools of engineering. A lot of projects that we developed in the laboratory. We participate with these projects in a lot of competition of innovations. It's coming from students because students is into the problematic of our society, and he can understand quickly the problem, the real problem. So we should only listen this reaction and try to write these things and make what I said, accompaniment. We must accompany our students to develop this ideas and write it like a patent. Why not? And not only a IP products, but we should, like a director of laboratories, go to the industry, go to a lot of persons and knock the doors. Can we work together? Can we develop solution for our countries, for our continent, if it's possible? This is what I do with my students, and in this way, I'm looking for another ways. I'm looking not only for research only, but I'm going to do development. And I try to contact a lot of societies in Morocco. I ask him, can we explain us your problematic, your technical problems? If you have technical problems, you can solve it. Give us these problems, and we can solve it in our laboratory and make this exchange of expertise. You have a technical problem. It's not necessary to go to German or to French or to another country to look for a technical solution. We can do that. Only give us this possibility, and we can work together without asking other countries to give us a solution which can be developed in our countries.
Wow, thank you very much, Professor Brahim. Again, emphasizing the very important role of academic and research institutions in creating an enabling policy and legal framework for innovation and for intellectual property. And I keep asking myself, like, how are we going to support innovation if it's too expensive? I mean, for instance, if you want to upgrade a software for your computer, probably buying or rather leasing a software will cost you an arm and a leg. So what will prevent you from going to crack that software? So we need to look at all these other factors that are making us also not promote this innovation, right? Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, I bring us to the Q&A session of our panel today, and I can already see a hand. Kindly hand in the, okay, kindly.
Yes. So good morning or good afternoon. My name is Nzambi Mate. I'm from Kenya, and I am a SAD innovator and an inventor from Africa. So I designed and fabricated a whole production line for now 5 years. And early this year, I went to submit a patent. And I went to submit a patent for Aripo. And the lady who was the patent officer told me it will cost me anything between 15 to 30,000 US dollars. Okay, I was like, fine. And then she told me, off record, Nzambi, let me tell you something. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, don't waste your resources in this patent. The best patent you can ever have in Africa is market share. Go increase your market share. Use the money you would have used in submitting this patent to increase your sales, to increase your market share. That is the only way in Africa you can protect yourself. I was like, fine. So then I went to the US patent website to see and all that nice jazz. Do you know right now, as we speak, I am in the process of seeking legal assistance from a US company to get my patent submitted in the US. To make matters even worse, I've been approached by Chinese to have my patent, not even patent, just have my idea sold to them so that they can mass produce. We're sitting down in these nice conferences, and you can hear the frustration in my voice. We're sitting down in these nice conferences and spending so much money to talk, but we're doing absolutely nothing when it comes to patents. I am supposed to be submitting 4 patents. Before that, I had 2 more, but they're just sitting somewhere. Right now, the best bet is just to sell it to Chinese, they mass produce it, they give me something small, and then I go home. So, with that said and done, what do we have to do as Africans?
Wow, thank you very much. That is a
Well, by the way,
innovator.
listen. I think you had the wrong advisors. Basically what you do, as I said, you go to people who have patents at the United States Patent Office already. People who know what they are talking about. And know increasing market share and all that stuff, that's important. You don't have to sell your product to a Chinese person who is going to own the invent. No. Everybody, write this down. LegalZoom.com. You all repeat after me. LegalZoom.com. Louder. LegalZoom.com. You go there, and it will have intellectual property, trade secrets, and you go to the section that says patent. Yeah. See, he has pulled it up already. You know. So make sure that you go there, and it allows you to sign in. So you sign in with your email address or whatever, sign in under your company name, your name, or whatever it is. So you sign in, and it takes you step by step what to do. Once you do that, it may ask you, did you come up with this idea by yourself or somebody else? If you say maybe yes or maybe 2 of us. And then you start putting your ideas there. Nobody can go into that thing under your name without you. So you put all your ideas, you put all the lady that just spoke, your nice patterns that I saw, beautiful patterns, you have pictures of all that, put it there. Once you put it there, you don't even have to finish everything in one sitting. It may take you even 4 weeks, 3 weeks. But every day come back and make sure you are refining it and all that. And once you finish, it may finally cost you maybe $300 to $600. Not 30. As I said, if you don't know the right people, go waste your money, your energy, and all that, and somebody take it away from you. And I'm saying this because I have 35 patents. Whoa. 7 of which was in 7 patents in 6 years. So, so when they say globally, Dr. Mensah is one of the great minds of the 21st century based on these patents. So you can apply for yours there without costing you, wasting your money, a lot of money. That's very, if you didn't learn anything from this conference, this is very important to you. Very important.
This is so important. This is a practical, implementable opportunities that we are talking about in this conference. The lady, very passionate, he was basically crying, all right? Thank you, Dr. Jenny, for sort of patting her at the back. I know she's going back with something. LegalZoom. Again, I live in the U.S. as well. There are places you can go and you get the same thing for so expensive, right? But the same thing, you can go somewhere else and just get it for peanuts. You just got to know. And conferences like these help you. APSS is coming alongside you to make sure what you've been struggling to do forever, you are able to do it as quickly and as simply as possible, more in collaboration. We do have somebody online who wants to contribute to this, and the name of the person?
This should be Dr. Anim Mensah. Yeah, sure.
And, I'm involved over uncountable patents. If you
Dr.
search
Anim,
for
you
my
know,
name,
audible.
Patent Guru, and I also have an IP law and policy specialization, and I wanted to talk to this. You know, what the lady is saying is true, and what Dr. Mensah is also saying is true. All depends on where you stand. When you go online, the $300 or $400 that we are talking about, that is only provisional patent. That provisional patent is up to 12 months. If you don't continue with the actual patent, that becomes public knowledge and you lose your patent. That provisional knowledge, that provisional patent is just to save you space for 12 months to be able to apply for the right patent. The actual patent, which is called the non-provisional patent, is what is going to cost the $37,000. On top, patent is a patent based on the claims. And patent is a patent because of the strength. If you don't get a patent strategist and an attorney or someone with the experience to write these things very well, it might not be a very strong patent, and it's better you even didn't file it. Because if you file and you don't have money to continue, or you don't have an idea to continue, what is going to happen is that patent becomes public knowledge and everybody have access to it. People sometimes, depend on the nature of your idea. If it's a strong idea that no one can reverse engineer, keeping it as a trade secret would be better. And as the lady said, keep the use the money for marketing to get the market share. It could be another way too. If your patent idea cannot be reverse engineered, you can get that. But the question is, even in Africa, if you have a patent and the patent is not enforceable because the systems are not there, you will still, the patent might not do anything for you. A patent becomes a patent when the structures enforces the patent, meaning that when anybody infringes the patent, the person is taken to court for damages. In that case, you will see or you will realize the effect of your patent. But if the patent is not a strong one, anybody can, circumvent it easily. And also, if you don't have the enforcement, it might not be a very good patent. So what she said, going to market, if I were the one looking at the terrain in Africa and looking at how the systems are, and even when you take West Africa, West Africa states, or when you take the ECOWAS, you have all the trade patent system clashing at that trade by itself, where each one of them, if you want to file in ARIPO, if you want to file in AOPI, if you want to file a national system, it will cost you so much. Another thing is patents have jurisdiction, meaning that you can be in Africa where you are, and someone can be in the US and file a patent to cover your area. Most of the patents that I have so many areas in Africa or so many places in the world that is covering those areas. You may even be infringing on the idea. First, you have to do a strong patent search to make sure that it's your idea original before you even take the journey to be able to go to file to waste your money. because whatever you thought about, someone have already thought about it. So that's my little take. Before you file a
Thank
patent,
you so much. We truly appreciate your contribution. It just looks like there's a little bit of a disagreement here. We are going to disagree to agree. And I'm going to have Dr. Thomas Mensah to have his own piece on it.
Yeah, by the way, I have patents. A lot of people talk about patents and they don't even have one. You know, I have patents to prove it. You know, 20. Now, in case of the pending patents, it gives you 1 year, not 3 months, 1 year to operate under pending, patent pending, with a number from the United States Patent Office. The vacuum cleaner you use in your house, most of the vacuum cleaners were under patent pending for a whole year. And within a whole year, you should be able to get the 10,000 or whatever it is required to do this thing. So you can still have your patent pending protection, particularly with US. You know, some of my patents are US and international patents, including Europe, the European Union. So whatever I'm telling you is very, very important. You go to LegalZoom and you get everything you need from there. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that contribution. Somebody else needs to, I see your hand. Is it in line with this same question, or is it something new? On the same thing. All right. Please, could you have the phone, I'm sorry, the mic to the gentleman?
Okay. I just have some comments maybe. My experience also in this topic, I agree in both. Provisional patents are good for the 1 year. And just to tell you the history of that, before, like 30 years ago, when I have an idea, what we do in US, I send to myself, to my address, a certified letter with my patent. So I just want to make myself protected. So the government, you know, they said, okay, we'll make money out of this. And they did that, what we call the provisional patent. And it's not really evaluated on the merits. It is something to keep you, the right for you until you come up with the full patent. I'll give you some example. I have been a consultant for Boeing company for many years in Phantom Works in Long Beach. And I was leading one of the projects for aerospace. And I met one of the directors, and I saw a lot of patents on the wall. And I said, so all on carpets and some other things. I said, where is the other things about the plane? He said, I'll give you advice. The best way to infringe on a patent is to do a patent. Because by legal procedures, you need actually to write everything. Is that happening? Not really. So you put all the formulation, and now people can tweak a bit here or there, as the other gentleman just said, which is I agree with, if you don't have a strong statement and the claims are correct. So that's 100% true. I would just correct, I have high respect to also our speaker here who made all the motivation and energy in the room, but I would just add one thing. The provisional patent, as I said, is going to be good enough for the first part of your work, but still you have a trade secrets. And the trade secrets, this is like company like Boeing is doing, and this is really happening. And for the last 100 years, most of their valuable designs are not patented. They are trade secrets. And I have myself a trade secret for product called Ensimor, well known. It has 11 chemicals. Some of them are nano ceramic, nano silica, but nobody can do the composition. So it is very difficult. I did not patent it. I'm not giving that as advice, but I'm just saying myself, I am doing it. It's working. But again, you need to have a strong patent. You have to have the right claims. You have to have some experience to do that, but does not mean you cannot do it. You still can do it. So my advice, again, is do it yourself as a provisional patent. You don't have to go, I'm sorry, to Zoom, legal Zoom. You know, I can do it. I can teach you here in 1 hour how you do a provisional patent for $100. You don't need to pay $300 for a provisional patent. And I'm volunteering, and I can do it, as I said, in the lunch break. I can apply for this young girl provisional patent, and you pay directly to the government $100. Thank you.
That is awesome. Can we give him a big hand of applause? All right, this is what we're talking about. You can't miss out on APSA because we get some practical solution. I'm talking about it on the spot. Sir, we're going to need your name and contact information, and we're going to take you up on that so you can help us out. At this moment, I believe we have a few more hands, but otherwise, we're going to do something. There are different ways to, we have at least 3, focuses, kind of areas. A little bit of a disagreement here, a little bit of upgrading on that, and all those. We want to hear from you. And remember, the session is not only about patent and copyright. We haven't differentiated between those. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to have the speaker in a minute. But after he speaks, we'd like you. I'm going to call on Dr. Jenny to come help us out here as well. We're going to get table by table. We're going to do a little bit of discussion on this, on any of those topics. We're going to hear your own solutions. And after, so you can discuss 5 minutes. I think we still have a little bit of time here. After you have that discussion, and then you write out what you think. Please, no long a bullet point, a 1 word or 2. But each table is going to be doing the discussion. You coming up with the topic for this session in light of a theme. All right? In light of a theme. How do we wake up our sleeping giants? What are the policy framework that will help out with the IP, that will help us with the invention, that will encourage innovation? All right? We're going to do that in a minute, Dr. Jenny. I'm going to need you in a few short minutes. But at this moment, our speaker online, would you please go right ahead, sir?
Okay, hello. Do you hear me? So I will go directly to the intervention of the leaders. So I have only one remarks. You are not. You are so different with others. If you have time to try to invent and to try to look for solutions, you are not ordinary women. You are very special ones. That's very interesting. You have 5, 2 trees. That's very interesting. So at first, like I said with Alexander, you should try to look for a very strong ideas. At first, you should write and protect your idea locally in your country. That's very, very interesting. This is the first step. And why? Because if the idea is developed and communicates with others, so you're not yours. There are other persons like they are waiting only for ideas, and they can't keep all ideas and develop it in another countries. So at first you should protect your ideas locally in your countries. The second things, go and in the moment you must thinking about collaboration with other industrial persons who can have a confidence in your knowledge and your ideas. You should work with these teams. We cannot develop our ideas individually. If the idea is very important, correct, and you must go to industrialization. Industrialization, you cannot do it alone. So you should look for another entity that can collaborate with you in your ideas. This is very interesting. And don't say that I try to go to protect my ideas in the USA or other countries. You should try in your countries. Should try to your countries, and after you can go address in French, in USA, and another countries. First, strong ideas, protect it locally. Try to look for collaboration with industrial, because you should develop not only one prototype, but you should develop a series of your solution. And in this way, you should have industry as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. We appreciate it. Right now, we're going to get you to roll up your sleeves, okay? Because you're going to get to work, all right? I'm going to bring in Dr. Jenny, and she will set the stage for us. Dr. Jenny.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, we are here to bring solutions. So now on this topic, we pick up three major themes. So we're going to count, we're going to make 3 groups, right? If we say you're group 1, group 2, group 3, and then we go like that until we group ourselves. You remain where you are because we need to observe protocol. Now, when it comes to the topic for group 1, we want you to think about the legal framework that we need at national level, regional level, and continental level as far as a patent is concerned. Because we don't have anything that is harmonized. In the medical field, we battle every time as far as patent is concerned. But we've got some models from other African countries. South Africa is one of them. So let's think one solution, not a problem, but a solution as far as the legal framework is concerned. Number 2, for those who have already patent, let them give us 1 point on what they need for their patent to be registered or for them to acquire their patent. What are the solutions or the problem? First of all, if they can think of what are the challenges they're facing. But again, they should also think what is the solution. And number 3, it's about the commercialization of the patents. They've explained that, yes, we have to be as well practical here. Africa, yes, is developing, is arising, but we can't also work on ourselves if we don't want to collaborate with the US, a big market. That is a reality. It's the rule of the game. We have to make it. But how do we do that to make sure that it's equitable, it's on the fair lens? So that also will be the question or the topic for group 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello? Okay. All right, so if you are alone on your table, please do us a favor and just move to the next table that you have people, because we actually want to have a 5-minute discussion, like group discussion, table discussion. If there is 1 person. If you are 1 person, we want each group to have a discussion within, pick your brains, and then we write out what your answer might be to any of this one you pick up. All right? We would say put in 1, 2, or 3, but again, let's have, I'm sorry? Of course, you the big guys, okay? You are, okay, okay. All right. Give honor to whom honor is due, sir, okay? All right, so we need to handle that. Thank you. All right, so we can have...
Just 1 person per sorry? Can we have 1 person per group? Let me choose group 1.
That's group 1.
That's group 1, right?
This is going to be group 2. All right.
This is group 3. This is group 1.
2, 3. Uh-huh.
1,
2, 3. Okay, so we're going to repeat the question. I'm going to have Dr. Jenny repeat the question for group 1, group 2. We do know that you may not be in a specific situation of trying to get a pattern, but we just need to pick your brains as to what you think solution would be. So if you can kind of just go right ahead and discuss within the group, what do you think? And write out what the group says. Maybe 1, this is what I think should be happening. 2, these are what should be happening. And then you will have one of the people from your group that will respond to it, that will read it out for others to hear. Okay? We have just 5 minutes to take care of this, and I know you can think on your feet. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. So here's the topic for group 1. All the group 1, sorry, can I have your attention? The Chamber of Commerce of Ghana, can I have your attention? You are group 1. So listen, topic 1, it's about the legal framework. And national, what do you propose as a legal framework for IP, intellectual property, at national, regional, and continental level? All the group 1s, whoever have been designed as group 1, that's your topic. Number 2, what are the challenges? This is for the people like her who has got patent, but facing with challenges. So we need just one challenge that regarding to getting your patent, and then a solution, what you think is practical for you. So that is number 2. People with a patent who would want their patent to be registered or having that provisional or whatever, but just tell us what is the main challenge and what is the solution that you're proposing. That's topic 2. Topic 3, it's now how do we commercialize the property, the intellectual property, that means your product. How do we commercialize that patent in a equitable manner when we deal with the global market? That means the big economic markets such as the US, such as the China and Europe and so forth. How do we commercialize that? Thank you.
We're not going to ignore our online audience. So we're going to put that up online. You decide online where you want to fit yourself. All right? Whatever makes sense to you, whatever area you want to contribute to. So our online audience, please be a part of this conversation.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 minutes for this exercise, and time starts running now. So we'll say stop after 5 minutes. Two minutes gone, 3 minutes remain.
All right, how are we doing? I'm sorry, sir. How are we doing? I know. Of course. He's sending me away, okay?
How are we doing here? How are we doing here? Good. Thank you so much. Please make sure we have your contact because we might actually put something online. Okay, awesome. You see her. University of California, Irvine. Oh, I teach at Chicago State. I used to for like 30
Okay,
years.
we should be winding up
Moved to,
now.
Governor State University now.
Group 1, please get ready for your rapporteur
check
to
you out.
give us highlights of your discussion.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. It too, it was very practical. You got some answers?
Yeah, I think I'd rather have said it earlier. I think I would have said it.
Yeah, very nice. How are we doing in the house? Our time is fast spent, and we're going to go right ahead. I'm going to give it back to Dr. Jenny, and we're going to start with answers from Team 1, right? And so once we get that.
Not long story.
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to start with our eminent guest here, the Chamber of Commerce. Just one question. Okay. Yeah. So just in less than a minute, just one.
No. Save them. We'll come
Oh,
back to
should
them
still,
last.
oh, okay. Okay, who is group 1 again? Group 1? Yeah, okay. What did you? Yes, that's what we want. Did you write it down? Okay, yes, we need it to be write it down. But speak and then you can write it down, okay?
Let's hear our group 1, please.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Please, I'm Esther Safo Ajiman from Ghana. And
sorry, can we have your attention, please?
hello, everybody. I'm Esther Safo Ajiman from Ghana, and I would like to give this suggestion with regards to the payment plan, with regards to requiring a patent, because the individual is new, is now trying to build up, doesn't have a lot of money, it's probably a singular individual. So if there could be a plan of allowing the person to give an amount that the person can afford at that time, and then as the idea of that person is building up, and then it's getting attraction and getting a lot of money, patronizing, then the person will be paying back to the people who are supposed to help him or her to get a patent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So please write it down. We'll come and pick up that. Group 1 again. Yeah.
Yeah, what we have here is that we have 4 points that we put in him. We said, yeah, we should pick up one. So what we're saying, the strong one is that there should be a legislation within each country, and we have a combined legislation like we have ECOWAS Parliament. Okay. We have African AU. There should be a legislation to protect IPs within the region. This idea.
Beautiful. Get another one. Get another one.
Okay, so what we're saying is that we can say is that there will be more advocacy. For advocacy on the IP protection.
Advocacy rapporteur, please put it down. What else?
Yeah, we have the ones that there should be more awareness in the sense that a lot of people in Africa must have ideas. They have done so many things that they don't know they have to even patent them.
Thank you. Education and awareness. Thank you very much. That's table 1.
Okay, so basically we were tasked to look at the patent, the challenges at the national, regional, and then continental level. What we have noticed, for instance, in Ghana, is that we have a lot of laws that are in place to deal with copyright, trademarks, industrial designs, and then also protection against unfair practices. There would be other countries that are having similar laws in place, and some may not have. So as now that we are now looking at a continental free trade area where all of us are coming together, it is our guided opinion that all these laws will be harmonized into one single document. I repeat, will be harmonized into one single document so that all the countries will rectify it, and it will be put on a portal that everybody can then refer to in dealing with matters that has to do with patent. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Give him a round of applause if you could write it also down while we come.
Thank you. There is a participant online who would like to make her contribution. That's Zohi. Please unmute him or her. Kindly unmute and have the floor.
Coming online, group 1, then we're going to start group 2 with you. Thank you. Okay. So while we are waiting for the group with group 2. Oh, the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Sorry. The Chamber of Commerce, you're also group 1. Your contribution, just one.
Thank you, ma'am. We put down quite a few number of points, though. We'll just go through them quickly and emphasize on one. Yes, yes. Our first point is harmonization. To harmonize it within national, regional, and continental, considering AfCFTA. Also, there needs to be an enforcing arm, possibly within AfCFTA or within the AAU, that will help protect the intellectual property of entrepreneurs. Also, we need to draw from our indigenous, local norms, customs, and traditions should be woven in favor of the unlettered. And here our emphasis is on wordless format to make it easy for our brothers and sisters who have so much ideas but are not that lettered to be able to go through the IP, intellectual property process. And our emphasis is on the wordless format. Very necessary. Thank you.
All right, let's give them a big hand. We'll come and collect that. And I'm sure that's what the Chamber of Commerce will be willing to educate us on. Thank you so much. All right, group 2? Yeah. All right, if you can make it snappy, we'll appreciate that.
Okay, I have 3 points, and all related to education. Since I am from educational background, the first thing you need to make some similar programs like in US and Europe, where the university has a partnership with the inventor, either professor or the student. And at that point, the university, through the Chamber of Commerce and others, they pay actually the full amount of the patent. And the young inventor or the professor will have some share. So they negotiate, the university. So in this case, we leave the inventor for the innovation, focus on innovation. We pay the money, we give part of it is legal, protected by the university and the institution. So that should be also something that you can recommend. The second thing, since I'm talking about education, you need to put in your curriculum, you know, the ethics and infringing on patents and stuff to be something since the childhood, that people, you know, the new generation have that respect to the behavior of giving the right to others. And the third thing, I would highly recommend to AA, the African Private Sector Summit next time or so, to have something parallel to it, like a workshop or training. And that's what I was saying, coaching. If I volunteer to coach, or that gentleman, he has some patent thing, then we have a small group where that person has a screen and teach the people how to do it. So we look at the issues that really want to do and make that not just talking. Let's just do something, execution.
Absolutely. All right, give him a big hand. We're talking about practical solutions, so workshop, APSS, we are noting that, and we'll move to that section. Table 2.
Before we move to table 2, we have 2 participants online who would like to contribute to this discussion.
Are they ready online?
Yes.
If they're not ready, we can take the house and then have them ready, so we can boom, boom, boom. Our time is fast spent. Thank you, sir.
They're ready. They're actually ready.
So thank
Ready.
you.
They're actually ready.
Please be ready. Technically, please go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you. The points that we raised to some extent has been somewhat raised earlier. And we've seen it actually, we've witnessed it earlier in the presentation, and that is the number one challenge is the lack of knowledge, the lack of information that people who work so hard actually in producing something innovative and new do not know how to protect actually their creation. And so that is number one. But that would require a certain level of policy affirmation. In a sense, the policy has to go with the planning, the policy has to go with the policy design to sort of both encourage the innovators, but also to protect their creation. And finally, I think we need also to look at the implementation part, and there we may see some weaknesses in the legal system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about, practical solutions. Thank you, sir. Table 2.
Yes. 32nd table 2. Who is table 2 again? Here. All right. Just one. Go ahead.
All right, my name is Benjamin. We are looking at the challenges on an IP, but we had 3 points, so we'll be very, and we look at the long process of it. In fact, if you want to protect your idea, and then you have to go through all these processes before it is being secured for you. In fact, it becomes very challenging for the person who has the idea. So that one too, we are looking at how it can be, the number of years that is being put on it can be reduced in order to secure the idea that we have. And we also look at the fees that is involved. We consider it being too high on us. In fact, if you are an entrepreneur who is being starting, and then you are to go and pay this amount in order to protect your idea, in fact, we think it is very challenging for us. And then we will also look at the literacy aspect of it. How do we educate people on how to protect their ideas? That is very important challenge that we look through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm starting to pick up, right? All right. Number 2. Group 2.
Table 2.
So we also identified we also identified the information gap, access to information as the main challenge. And for us, the solution could also include having identifiable institutions at national and regional level, so that people can go to these institutions, like we have the FDAs and other things, yeah, can easily go there for support to patent their ideas.
Thank you very much. That's really great. Do we still have twos, or should go number 3? Okay, 3, I think you are. Number 3. Oh, okay. Group 3? You want to talk? Group 3? Yeah. All right.
Okay, so our question was on how do we commercialize IP patents and when dealing on the global market. What we decided to do was we looked at licensing. So there is a body called WIPO, that's the WIPO. So this global body that goes into licensing of intellectual properties, and they have some standards that these measures that you are trying to, or services or goods that you are trying to produce should meet. So if your intellectual property or whatever it is meets these standards, then you get this global licensing. And there's another group that helps with global reach. So this group can also be, and they are the Global Licensing Incorporation. So once WIPO has given you that license to your intellectual property, then the Global Licensing Incorporation will give you that reach that you need. So if it's this number of countries that you want your intellectual property to get to, then this other body will help you to reach that. So we looked into licensing.
Thank you very much. Licensing. So please, for the rapporteurs, we'll be coming to pick up the paper so that we can record what is written. Group 3? You're group 3, right? No, we were not. Oh, we're not for table 3, group 3, or... Okay, so if we do not have more, there's somebody online?
Yes, we have 3 online participants. We have Zuhair, Joy, and Alexandra. Please, if you're, we can start with Zuhair.
My elders, sorry, were you able to?
I'm ready.
Online participants.
Yes,
Joy, please go ahead.
Hello? Can I go ahead?
Yes, Alexander, and after me, I'll move.
Okay. I'll make a clarification here before I come in with my suggestion. I mean, I've heard people saying patenting their idea. In the patent world, you cannot patent an idea. An idea is an abstract. You have to reduce the idea into something practicable. So that's one thing you have to know, that an idea cannot be patented unless it's reduced to practice before you can patent it. Other than that, you'll be wasting your money. From what I'm hearing, people are also confusing an intellectual property with a patent. A patent is part of an intellectual property. I'm just going to explain some things and then I'll come with my suggestion. Number one, when you talk about intellectual property, number one is trade secret. Number two is trademark or service mark or trade dress. Number three is copyright. And number four is the patent. The patent, there are 4 types of patent. Number one is the well-known one that we all talk about. It's known as the utility patent. That's, I've made a machine and I want to patent the machine. And the machine is a functional object. Number two, we have a plant patent. That's a special plant, like a tree. Number three, we have a design patent. And that design patent is like you have a car, which is a functional object, which you are looking at how the car is designed. And that's a design patent. And then number four is the utility model patent or a petty patent. So that's the clarification. That is a petty patent. And that's normally done in Europe, in the manufacturing industry, and especially China. I've seen it somehow, I think, under AOPI, and I wanted to make this clarification that an IP is the main one, and under IP are the rest. So don't confuse a patent with an IP. Sometimes you getting into the business, you might need a trademark for your symbols. You might need a copyright for your materials.
In this, and we're gonna like to have you back and others and think about a workshop on this. Thank you so much. We have three other people online. If you can do it in 30 seconds, please, do not get mad because 30 seconds I'll cut you off. So if you can do it in 30 seconds and tell us your view. I'm looking at Joy. Joy Zent, are you online? Do you want to contribute? Okay, Joy is not ready. Zone?
Yes, I'm here. You can hear me.
Thank you, Joy. You have 30.
So my name is Joy Tense. I'm the founder of African Women in Trade, and this topic is very, very important because this is an issue we are facing at the moment. Having here in Germany, trying to market for women doing business in Africa has been an issue. Some of the products are very beautiful, but we cannot market for them without having IP because we know the risk. So my question here, my suggestion is here for me for the ground. Why do we need to, according to the speakers, why do we need to register all these IPs in Europe or in the US where we can do it in the continent?
Please, audience, we keep the noise down there.
We need to get cheaper prices for them to be able to do this because some of the products, they really need the IP because I'm sure when they get out here, they're not going to stay long in the market. Some of them, they're IT, and as you know how this can go wrong very quickly. So we need to have the solutions in the country, and my suggestion, it has to be like one portal for everyone. We have US, we have Europe. Why don't we have one portal for Africa? Because if you do it in Kenya, where I come from, why can you not? You have to do it in South Africa. You have to do it in so many 52 countries. It's impossible. So let's find a way of having one portal in Africa to do all this IP. It will save us a lot of work. Thank you, and I'm done.
That is so wonderful. You, the lady of the day. Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. Do we have one more person online? Well, I think Alexander, he already spoke. All right. So, Okay. Okay, Prof, you do 30 seconds, please.
Please, I will add only things. Innovation is not only IP. We'll not try to write IPs and documents and we have IP. It's not the objective. The objective, how can transform these IPs like a patent society that can give us employees. This is the objective. This is the objective of our discussion. So in reality, innovation is between three parts. It's between inventors, academics, a person who did the research. The first part, and this part we should develop into our students another mindset where you make studies not only for looking for a job, but how can you create a job? Entrepreneurial concepts must be developed in our students. This is very important. First things. The second is about investors and industrial sectors. They should come to universities and laboratories and they should see this person and how they can discuss the collaboration, how can they do the collaboration together. And the third part is pollution parts. How can we install legislative things to protect all these persons who tries to develop a new idea.
Thank you so much, sir. You've given us some great insight. We're going to have a session. We see there is a need here. We need to be doing a session where we can have more time and basically just focusing on this one topic. We enjoy all your contribution. At this moment, I know folks are hungry here. If you okay, it's time to get ready to go to lunch. But right before we do that, I'm going to ask Dr. Sam for a 1 minute, I would say, summary. What did you hear? With the audience participation, sir, what did you hear? And after that, we will have Dr. Mensah here wrap it up for us for another 1 minute, and we'll be ready to go to lunch. I'll have Mr. Ben come up and tell us what we are doing at lunch. Please go ahead, Dr. Sam.
Thank you very much. I think what I'm hearing is there is a hunger on this continent for patents, for us coming up with our own ideas. What I want to also just add from my side of the story is we are setting up a university in South Africa, a University of Technology, Science and Technology, that will just look at how we can get students to create what we need in society, from apps to anything that's needed. That's the gist of how this university will be run. In other words, if you're not thinking of manufacturing, if you're not thinking of innovation, if you're not thinking of invention, you have no place there. But that's where we're going.
And there, did you hear that? All of this, if we are not adding value, if we're not producing and being encouraged to produce, because once we produce it, we can be protected to make money from it by patenting it or getting a copyright, whatever the issue is. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. You very well. You had your ears open. Okay? Dr. Mensah, we're going to be able to wrap this up. I know you have some final things that you need to point out.
Yes.
You can do that in 1 minute. We would appreciate it.
Well, what I'm talking about is what will awaken the giant in Africa. You know, the side things like patents and intellectual, I've given you directions as to how to get it going. But what does it take to awaken the giant in Africa? First of all, top technology experts like Bill Gates, they plan and execute, let's say forming Microsoft, right? Like Apple computer founder Steve Jobs, they plan and execute. They don't ask anybody, oh, should I form an Apple computer? No. God has given them the talent, so they go ahead and do. Make it happen. That's what I'm calling it.
Make it happen. Did you hear that? Make it happen. Be innovative. Be creative. Yes, yes.
For example, I wasn't asked, but I designed the bullet train, the fast train for DRC, DR Congo. They didn't ask me, but I thought that's what's needed to awaken the giant in Africa. Therefore, my people are in DR Congo, with the president, Tshisekedi, presented my design of the bullet train, and it's called Lumumba Express. Okay. So all of you say Lumumba.
Lumumba.
Lumumba. Lumumba Express. And that's TGV Lumumba, the high-speed train from Lumumba, going from Kinshasa all the way to the border. So that's very important. That's how you awaken the giant in Africa. That's how you do it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's awake the giant. Thank you, sir.
That's very important. All of you here, you should do the same thing. Don't wait to be told.
Don't wait to be told.
Okay? Serious. You know, when they say, oh, Dr. Mensah is the great minds of the 21st century, that's a responsibility. That means I got to support and push for the awakening of the giant in Africa. AfCFTA and the Africa Union 2063 agenda, as I'm discussing with President Tshisekedi of DR Congo, should be supported by these bullet trains across Africa. Because, you know, you cannot just take the ship and put it in the port. The gap is actually going from the port to the inland. Because the roads are bad. You put something on the road, Go from here to Burkina, it may spoil if that's fruits. If that's fish, it may spoil. You know? And so we got to put these proposals that will transform Africa in place where we are using bullet trains and we are using fast airplanes. The airplanes will have cold storage. So if I put my fish and stuff in it, it will get to their destination.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. We're going to have to end here. We see, please, let's give him, as a matter of fact, can we give a standing ovation to all of you? Dr. Mensah, we appreciate you. We got this done. I know you are hungry. I'm going to bring our dear Mr. Ben, and he will come tell us about lunch and what we are doing. And for the interview, Mr. Bensa is still with you when lunch is going on for you to meet with him for interview. Mr. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much for your attention this afternoon. I'm just going to give the protocols quickly and then we do what we need to do. Thank you for your patience. And firstly, I want us all to observe the COVID protocols. Please, it's highly, highly recommended. We don't want to live here and then hear other stories as to this COVID. So I'm pleading with everybody that try as much as we in the gap and what we places. I'll be taking dignitaries, our VIP to them. Everybody will follow. If we are awakening the sleep, then please manage your food. Yesterday, some mountains, and after that, many people didn't come because they went to sleep. So this time around, take what you can eat, and when you don't walk out, come back into the room, all these things done. Thank you.